This is 4-H Games. I'm Dave Tadros. This is Steve. This is our special guest, K-Splash. We're giving you our final thoughts because this is the eve of the Nintendo Switch launch, and we're about 2 hours away from picking ours up and giving us a lot of review time. And we never actually played with the Switch yet because I didn't go to Nintendo World. I don't know if you guys did. Did you end up going to Nintendo World?
No, man. Those lines are crazy. Like, if Nintendo World is doing anything, expect a line by, 4:30 for no reason. Like, especially if it's, a common game that Nintendo's coming out with, there'll be, a line. And it's just why? You could just go to GameStop. Nobody's stopping you from, buying this somewhere else. But no, there's just a line, and it lasts for blocks and blocks and blocks. So I can only imagine what the Switch is like. I was on Instagram, and Nintendo was just and it begins. And that was, yesterday.
Yep.
Yeah, but, I think the Switch was on display for a while at Nintendo World, wasn't it? At least
Not usable.
Really?
I think you were able to play Zelda with the Pro Controller on the giant screen on the second floor, but, you couldn't actually use the Joy-Cons, I don't think.
Well, speaking of Zelda, how do you guys feel about this? Has anybody, seen some of the reviews?
I haven't seen anything because I've been trying to keep everything under wraps with this guy over here.
I saw the reviews.
I only saw 2.
I saw the reviews.
And the 2 reviews are really good.
Let me just say, these reviews. If you like reviews, you're going to like this game.
Man, I heard that this was going to be the best Zelda yet. I think you were talking about earlier.
You heard that from him.
Let him finish.
Yeah.
Let the man talk.
Wow, you really threw me off.
That's all right. I'm sorry.
It's okay.
But yeah, he's seen a bunch of the reviews. He told us what the Metacritic.
I've been following this. I'm trying not to get spoiled, but I've been following everything. This game, they built an 8-bit version of the game to make sure that the full game is good. Only Nintendo would do.
When he told me that, I was like, I really want to play that 8-bit version of the game.
They made an 8-bit version of the game.
So they rendered the whole game in 8-bit.
I don't think it was the whole game. They were
you said that!
No, they were testing
this guy's a liar!
They were testing the physics engine and whatnot, but it was all 8-bit, and it was I want to play that.
Yeah, I'd like to play that too. So what I think of every time I look at the Zelda game is the original Zelda.
Exactly.
This open world where I can just go wherever I want to go.
Exactly. And that's basically what it is. And that's what Aonuma was basically trying to do. Bring it back all the way to the roots while at the same time incorporating everything that Zelda has done over the past 30 years and then being oh, by the way, we did all of this. Well, now let's go back to the original style of game and with all the advancements. So, 3D graphics, combat system, but you could go anywhere.
So I did hear about that, Ocarina of Time was, the standard for Zelda games for a long time.
Oh.
And they said that this actually beats Ocarina of Time in the way of, this is going to be the new standard of Zelda games.
That's a bold statement.
Yeah. Oh, I've heard some other I forget these reviews, but I mean who was saying these, but one thing I heard somebody say was that Nintendo comes in, makes their Zelda game open world, and it's the best open world game. Somehow they just come out of nowhere and they're
was this
Zelda.
their first open world?
This was their first.
Yeah.
That's what I was gonna say. He said he was playing Far Cry.
Yeah.
And Elder Scrolls.
Who, Aonuma?
Yeah.
Well, definitely. No, we could.
You're
honestly,
saying Skyrim.
Yeah,
Skyrim.
Because honestly, what happened was when Skyward Sword came out, right? Skyrim was also out.
Yeah.
And Zelda took a back seat to Skyrim, and I think that Aonuma was well, what the hell is this? so he said he actually took Skyrim because he was why is this getting so much more praise than Zelda? And apparently he really enjoyed the game, and he was how can I incorporate this into Zelda?
That's great.
So
just think of Hyrule as a big sandbox, like most games. I mean, the sandbox idea has been around since Grand Theft Auto. That whole open world idea. And every game's been doing it.
Right, but the thing about Skyrim that was one of the big selling points was that whole concept of like, oh, you could go anywhere, right? But the thing is, you could, but at the same time, you still couldn't.
Yeah, because there's still mountains and stuff.
Right, and that's why whenever I keep thinking about Zelda, I'm like, this game is awesome. It's going to have awesome music, awesome story, amazing combat, dungeons, puzzles, and then I always forget but remember, you can climb anything. So then I'm just like, oh my god, like that blows my mind that it's
and
like...
Did you see how much bigger it is than actual Skyrim?
So yeah, I was gonna
map.
say the world map is actually like the biggest world map so far in video games.
Ever.
I'm really excited, but I don't know.
Boom!
I feel like I'm worried I'm gonna be so hyped for it that when I start playing, I'm gonna be like, okay, it's just Zelda.
Honestly, I don't
know.
Like, I'm worried about that because
I don't know.
Because I've been burned before by games that I was super hyped for.
From what
not really Zelda.
From what I've heard, and I've been avoiding, spoilers as well, but like from what I've heard from people who have reviewed and played the game, they said like everything that we've seen up until this point that we've been allowed to see from Nintendo themselves is really like the tip of the iceberg. Like there's so much more even to the game that we don't see from the trailers and we haven't seen from the demos and all of that. So it's like that is even a crazy thought. It's like because you see like that last trailer which was like amazing and it's like there's more than that. There's much more than that, and it's like
they didn't even really show like the Gorons or their area.
Yeah,
and that's.
Yeah, but
like they didn't show Death Mountain.
We got the races though.
What is that called? Like the Great Plain or something? Whatever
the Great
whatever
Plateau?
Hyrule Field is now in this game.
No, there's the Great Plateau where you start, and then that's kind of like the tutorial stage basically. Except again, the big theme of this game is it's freeform. So it's like that's the tutorial level, but you do whatever you want. Like you exit the cave and you're just like, all right, I'm gonna do whatever I want. So it's what some reviewers are saying is like the game design of this game is just like perfection, basically, is what they've been saying.
Oh, I can't wait.
Yeah.
So we're gonna have it in, again 2 hours exactly. We're gonna be at the GameStop, and it's gonna be pretty freaking awesome.
Dave has his. Did you get the special edition? Standard edition?
They ran out.
Your boy
They ran out.
Your boy K Splash got that master edition.
I know, and I hate you for it. Like when I found out that when I should have ordered that thing, I didn't notice it during the press conference because we were watching the press conference here. I didn't notice they had it, and then I noticed like the next day, and it was already gone. And I was like, oh my god, I lost that because I really wanted that sword.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day,
it came with a sword.
The sword is like this big. It's crazy. It's like it's in like the pedestal. I'm assuming it's pedestal of time. Or
we don't know anything yet.
But it's
beat up.
It's
rusted.
It looks so.
Really?
What I'm trying to. I don't want.
So you haven't
spoilers.
been following this at all.
No,
yeah, neither have I.
Fresh coming in.
Well, nothing that I'm saying is going to be anything that wasn't in any.
So yeah, but you've seen the trailer because we were watching. So we were watching the Switch announcement.
Right.
And they did
what was
show
the Nintendo Direct?
Yeah, it was like a month or two. It was like 2 months ago or
the
something.
Switch presentation?
Yeah. So like that's
they
when
closed on.
They closed it with Zelda, and we were like, oh.
Dude, that trailer, man.
But we didn't know anything about it aside from that. And I don't know, if you know, don't tell me, because I don't want to know. But I'm sitting here thinking, where does this happen in the timeline? Does this happen before everything or after everything?
Nothing.
Because the sword looks so beat up.
Yeah.
So it's like, was the sword sitting there for like a millennia?
Yeah, that's one of the things that I know that we're probably going to be trying to figure out after we play that game, because that's before Nintendo, if you remember, before Nintendo released Hyrule Historia, you and me would be constantly debating, how does this timeline work? Okay, we got a split timeline. And then they screwed us both, being like, oh, the defeated timeline.
Yeah, so we were sitting there like, okay, the games make sense in this split timeline of adult Link and child Link. Okay, kind of doesn't really, but it might like that. And then they're like, oh, the defeated timeline. We're like, you're going to have a timeline where he dies? then what about every other game where Link dies? You know what I mean?
That's what I'm
Does
saying.
that start another timeline?
Maybe there's a new timeline with this Breath of the Wild.
Breath of the Wild takes place when Skyward Sword Link dies. Like, it's just.
I honestly think it like takes place either in like the far, far past or the far, far future. Like,
Well,
I don't
the
think
far,
there's.
far
It has to be the future. And I'll tell you why.
It can't be before Skyward Sword because the Master Sword's in it. Skyward Sword is still
And also-
the start.
Also,
Okay.
Ganon is a thing. Now,
Yeah.
this
And
is like
remember-
a
Spoiler alert for Skyward Sword, demise was like, you know what I mean?
But I mean, Ganon didn't become Ganon until Ganondorf.
Yeah.
You know, and the whole Ocarina of Time thing. So this has to take place after Ocarina of Time. Like, it just has to. But where it takes place after, we don't know. We don't know if it's
the defeated timeline, if it's a child timeline.
Yeah, I mean, like, from
I feel like it has to take place in the Wind Waker timeline.
it can't, though. It really can't. Like, from what I've, I've watched the trailers thousands of times. I've watched everything. I have a feeling that it's not in the Wind Waker timeline. I would like it to be in the defeated timeline, but for
That'd be great. Actually.
I know, because we haven't had
exactly
an entry, especially a console entry. In
so
the
if you know what the defeated timeline is, it's all those original Zelda games. It's the original Legend of Zelda,
and Link to the Past, and Awakening,
and Link's Awakening, and Zelda 2. So they're all in that timeline, and we haven't had anything else in that timeline.
Right.
But we also didn't know that timeline existed until like 2 years ago, whenever Hyrule Hysteria came out. So like you can't really go, oh well, we never, they just made it up a couple years.
Because here's the other thing, that the Wind Waker thing, Ganondorf, again, spoilers for Wind Waker, Ganondorf is defeated, turned to stone, Master Sword in the bottom of the ocean. You know what I mean? So it's like,
yeah, but he's defeated in every one of them.
Hey guys, going into this game though, do you feel like we're gonna visit any place that we've already visited in the past games?
So obviously
I'm
we
hoping.
have like Death Mountain.
no, those are those are common.
I don't mean like that, like the common like staple places. I mean like this is the Death Mountain from Twilight Princess type of Death Mountain. You know what I'm saying? Like some remnants.
I don't even remember the Death Mountain in Twilight Princess.
Yeah.
Was there like Snow Peak in that game?
No, that was
something?
Majora's Mask, man. Don't diss Majora's Mask.
Oh yeah, you're right.
Hey,
well,
we
I
might
just
even
think
have
of the
like
Snow Temple. When I think
we
I
might even
hated
have
that
some
temple.
things from Majora's Mask too. What if we run into like one of those mask relics? And
what if
that's,
the
like, a
whole
side
game
quest?
takes place in Termina?
They said it's in Hyrule.
What if it's the same thing?
What if it's low rule?
What if it's not? I don't know.
But yeah, I think I don't know what they're gonna do either, because like after Skyward Sword they established like these provinces, right? Like the Elden, what was it? The Elden province.
I don't remember. All right, everyone on the internet's gonna hate my guts. I didn't really like Twilight Princess.
Hey, I didn't either. So we talked about this many times.
So like
before.
I don't know if they're actually
we've been
gonna
Zelda
hate you.
fans.
I've run into a lot of people that have a genuine dislike for that game.
We-
I personally don't. I love it.
Well, here's my opinion.
A lot
We've
of
been
people
Zelda
dislike
fans
it.
our whole lives.
When playing that
So-
game, I was enjoying every second of it, right up to the very end. Spoilers. As soon as I stabbed Ganondorf, the final cutscene, the end of that game, I was just like, that was the game. That was kind of not good. So the entire time I was playing it, I loved it. But then as soon as the game was over, I was like, yeah, that game kind of sucked.
Yeah, so I kind of felt the same way, because, like, as someone who played every Zelda game, like, I was playing it, I'm like, why am I a fucking wolf? I don't understand this. Why am I a wolf right now? Why did they pigeonhole Ganon at the end? You didn't even need him at the end, right? Like, what was his name? Zant? Yeah, whatever. Zant, like, he was a good enough enemy, in my opinion, to where you didn't even need Ganon, but it was like, oh, it's a console Zelda, we have to have Ganon in it.
Right.
Like, you didn't have to do that.
Oh man, I loved it. The artwork, the music. I love the wolf personally. I'm sorry. I know that upsets you guys, but it's.
I mean, I didn't have a problem with the wolf.
I didn't have a problem. I didn't go, man, I hate the wolf. I'm just wondering why. What? Like, I get. All right. I get why. The reason why is because in Ocarina of Time, you had young Link where he had limited ability, and then you became adult Link, and it was like, oh, look at all this ability. So in this game, they're like, oh, let's force you to be Wolf Link. So you're like, oh, I have to play the game differently because I'm forced into this position. And then when I'm back to Link, I have all my abilities back. I get it.
But why a wolf and not something else? Like young.
Yeah,
Link? I guess they just didn't want to copy it fully. You know what I mean?
But it felt like it almost felt like a carbon, like not a carbon copy exactly, but it felt like it was like, we want to be Ocarina.
Well, this and that was really, in my retrospect after playing the game, my problem with Twilight Princess is I did feel that it was trying to be a what they call like a beat by beat remake, basically, of Ocarina of Time.
Like you're gonna go to this temple, you're gonna collect it. I mean, every Zelda does that, but like I felt like,
well, because comparing it to something like Majora's Mask, which is in its own realm, and even Wind Waker,
was fantastic.
It didn't really copy Ocarina of Time. I felt like Twilight Princess was like, we need to do Ocarina of Time again, and that's why I think Breath of the Wild is. Why it's so important is they're kind of trying to do that, except by not copying it. They're like, we're just reestablishing the franchise.
Yeah, so what they're doing was Ocarina, much like Link to the Past, like took everything great about the original Legend of Zelda, solidified it, and built upon it, and was like, this is the 2D Zelda.
Right.
A Link to the Past. I'm saying it right here. That's the 2D Zelda. So when they made like a Link Between Worlds, they were like, okay, that's the thing that we're going to make this 2D Zelda off of. A link to the Past. Ocarina of Time's been like the starting point for every 3D Zelda. You could see even in Wind Waker, like Z targeting was pretty much back in that. So they used that as the basis. This one, I feel like they used the original
Zelda 1.
And they were like, you know what? Let's try to get Zelda 1 in 3D now.
Yeah. Where you can go anywhere. You can do whatever you want. And one of the biggest things I'm excited about, it doesn't hold your hand at all. Everybody's saying it's the most difficult game. I really hope
you're right.
Yes!
Dude.
Because Nintendo's been getting on my nerves with the past couple games. Big Nintendo fan. But
what the hell did you do to Pokemon?
Oh, every 5 steps is like a cutscene about how I should play the game, and I was like, look, this would have been great.
I just want to freaking beat gym leaders.
Here again,
this would have been great in Red, Blue, and Yellow.
Yeah,
not Sun and Moon.
That would not have been. Red, Blue, and Yellow were perfect the way they were. No, screw off, dude. We picked that shit up right away.
See, I didn't have it. I was in a summer camp, and they were just like, hey, you want to play my Game Boy Color? And I'm like, sure. And then I'm just in a patch of grass, and I don't know what to do. I didn't get to start the game by myself. I never had the game to buy it. So.
Well, you can't judge your whole experience off of some kid at the playground giving you the game.
Judgment.
No, you can't, because we bought the game when the game came out. And we weren't like, what the hell do we do? We just figured it out.
We got sucked into the whole shebang there.
And we just figured it out, but then we're going off topic.
Yeah. No, I gotta say that.
I just don't want to, I just don't like being handheld and...
Right.
Yeah, I don't mean
Star Fox did it too.
And now here's the thing.
Yeah,
again,
it did.
Not spoilers at all what I'm about to say. But in this game, for example, this is going to excite you guys probably, nothing is barred off. So you will enter areas where guys will just come out of nowhere and instant kill you because they take 10 hearts.
So I knew that because I heard that you could actually go to the end game area and just die. You'll just get destroyed.
They said while developing this game, from the beginning, they said an important aspect of the game is the player should be able to, from the very start of the game, challenge the final boss.
Wow.
Like you could just. So if you're,
You're not gonna
careful,
win,
yeah.
but
If you're not careful, no, somebody's
going to. But I'm saying
I'm calling it now. Some crazy person's
Yeah.
gonna spend a ton of time figuring out how to do it, and they're gonna destroy the final boss.
speedrunners.
But they did it to where you could just stumble into an area mistakenly and be destroyed and be like, well, I learned my lesson not going there for a while. Like,
and it gives you that freedom where, again, Skyward Sword, as much as I love Skyward Sword, it was the complete opposite. It was like, now do this, and until you beat, like, once you beat that, now do this.
Yeah.
And it's the complete opposite.
It was that Zelda formula of, like, you need this weapon to go here. You need that weapon to go there. You can't go into any of these dungeons. Like, you can't go into Dungeon 3 until you beat Dungeon 2.
Can we talk about the physics engine? Can we talk about...
we didn't even talk about the Switch, and that was, like, the whole point of this.
Well, the problem with the Switch...
No, wait. Go back in the physics engine.
Okay, the physics engine. That's the new puzzle thing, right? It's like, because you get...
So what do you mean by that?
Well, what I mean by that is that in this game, instead of what they would say is like, before it'd be like, oh, you got the hook shot. That's like your key into the next room in a dungeon or something, because you needed to get across a gap or something. In this game, kind of similar, I would say, to Link Between Worlds, you have access to most of your main abilities. At least from what I understand of what I know with the game, some of the most important ones that were shown at, like, back in the E3, you get them near the beginning of the game. So then when you go to an area, you have to figure out, well, how am I going to do this? Do I use this ability? Or maybe you could do it with this other ability instead. And you could actually solve puzzles with the method or weapon or ability of your choice.
So you're telling me the way you do a puzzle, you could do it completely differently than I could.
Yes.
Wow, that's amazing.
Like, for instance, even something as simple as, oh, there's a big mountain here. I'm going to take this other path around. Someone else might be like, I'm going to climb the mountain. But you're going to find different things along the way. You know what I mean? Another thing, like, you guys, did you see the E3 back in the day stuff?
I saw the one
because I don't want to spoil anything.
I saw the one with, like, Miyamoto. Are you talking about the one where, like, he jumps off the horse and everybody was questioning if he was, like, a girl or not?
No, I'm talking about, like, the recent one where you're on the
Miyamoto,
plateau.
Yeah, where Miyamoto's, like, sitting there and his translator's talking for him and whatnot, and they're just, like, talking about the game. And he's just like...
Well, alright, I'll say this.
He threw a boulder down and, like, it ran over the goblins.
I'll say this, because this was in the trailer, so this shouldn't be a spoiler. This was in one of the first trailers. You have one ability that's like a magnet ability, right? So anything that's metal, you can manipulate.
Okay.
So,
Magneto?
It's close to that. It's like magnesis, I think. But, like, for instance, you might use that to move metal things to make a bridge for yourself to cross a gap, or you might instead choose to get across the gap a different way, like maybe getting onto a high mountain and then gliding down, or maybe going around to get to the side. So it's like you'll be solving puzzles based on how you want to solve them and how persistent you want to be. Like, if you want to go into a super hard area and keep dying until you beat it, you can do that. Or you can just be like, you know what? Screw this, I'm going somewhere else because they're too hard.
So I still don't know, like, every RPG has a level up system. Zelda 2, you can level up your magic and your health bar. And technically in every Zelda game, you're leveling up your health.
Yes.
But you're never actually leveling up, like, your strength.
Right.
Or anything like that. So I'm wondering if they took that from Skyrim, and they were like, okay, you level up in this game. I think you do that in Far Cry too, don't you?
I believe.
But how do you level up in?
So I think if Far Cry,
because I
could be wrong, but I think in Far Cry you're like leveling up your weapons and stuff.
But how do you
get a
level
skill
it?
tree.
How do you? Okay, so you level it based on like kills, I guess.
So yeah,
like a traditional RPG, like the
yeah,
more
like
battles
the
you
more
fight.
battles you encounter and succeed in, or like if you like have a special conversation with somebody,
Right.
like in Mass Effect, for example, like if you could talk, like you're able to talk, like spoiler alert for Mass Effect 1. Oh wait, you never played it. I won't say it. We're gonna do it on a XP share episode, so I don't want to ruin it. But there's a few conversations where you can completely shift anything.
Yeah.
And you'll get extra points for saying certain things or having the ability. So like
in different stats.
Yeah, so like in Mass Effect, if you go full Paragon and you keep using the Paragon, like the good talking point, you get the blue special talking point, and then that'll give you more XP.
Right.
So I'm thinking, is it going to be like that, or is it just going to be like, okay, you could you get these weapons and you level them up? I don't think it's
All
that
right.
because the weapons break, I don't think you can craft weapons.
I'm going to say this because I actually know how you get stronger in Zelda.
So and again, I don't know if I want to know.
I'm not going to tell you how. I'm not going to tell you. I know how you get stronger in Zelda. What I will say cryptically, but anybody who loves Zelda should be happy about this. The way you get stronger in this game is a Zelda way. Let's just say that.
So I don't know if I'm happy about that.
You should. It's very clever.
Because like if it's changing this much, but then again, like at what point is it changed so much that it's no longer a Zelda game? So maybe I don't want it to do. I don't know.
Well, let me say it to you this way: what you would expect to be doing in a Zelda game anyway, like Zelda. What you like to do in Zelda games, that's how you get stronger.
Just getting heart pieces, then.
Well, we'll see.
That's like what Zelda games are. You just get heart pieces and more weapons. And
I don't know. To me, Zelda games is like dungeons.
Yeah, but you don't get... You get stronger in a dungeon by getting the heart piece at the end and a weapon.
But again, remember this. This game is all about player choice. So it's about how do you want to get stronger this time.
I don't know. It's a lot to think about.
Yep.
I can't wait to play the game. But to shift the conversation just slightly.
To switch gears?
To switch.
The puns.
I hate it.
I love it.
Okay. So this is what I was going to say about the Switch. And the reason why we were talking about Zelda this whole time is because... All right. I love the Switch. I love the idea.
I have an idea in my head because I have one big major problem with the Switch, and I have a feeling that he's going to say it right now.
Okay. As much as I love the Switch, I love the concept, I'm really excited for this concept. It's just Zelda.
Yes!
It's just Zelda.
Yes, the launch is terrible. All you have is Zelda. Granted, Zelda is looking like an amazing game, especially with the review scores, but like...
It's looking like
it's also on the Wii U, so like...
Zelda is
Why am I buying this?
Zelda right now, based on what the reviews are saying, is looking to be quite possibly the best game we've played.
Wii U.
Oh god.
No, not the Wii U. Not Wii U.
Wait, the best Nintendo
Switch.
game or the best game?
Best game.
That's like a huge... That's a very high bar, because... When I think of my favorite games, I think of like the all-around experience, you know? And I'm thinking, you never played Mass Effect, and I really hope that when we play it, you enjoy it.
Bro, that's two bold statements.
They're not coming from me, though. This is what I've heard.
So, like, I think of Mass Effect as like one of the best games of all time. I think of Red Dead Redemption.
A lot of people like
I think of BioShock. That series is amazing.
Oh, yeah, the music was outstanding.
Everything about BioShock was great. You know, like, those are the kind of games that I look back on them, like, those games were really freaking good. Then, obviously, when you switch genres, like, if you're like, oh, shooters and whatnot, then Halo and Gears and stuff like that.
I think, like, every genre has, like, their best.
But, like, when I'm thinking of RPGs, I'm like, Skyrim, Mass Effect, Red Dead to a certain degree. It was an open world game more so than RPG. I just think of, Skyrim, Mass Effect, even
I don't know, bro. I'm still thinking Nintendo. Again, we spoke about it earlier. Pokemon.
Yeah, but that's like in the traditional like JRPG. I'm talking like Western RPGs now.
Okay.
So there's a big difference between
Well, that's a big difference.
Yeah, that is a huge difference. But like Western RPGs are, like I said, like Mass Effect, Dragon Age. These games that are like heavy hitters. Fallout. How did I even forget Fallout? I love Fallout. You should see my bobblehead collection. Yeah, Fallout's like one of my favorite games of all time. You've ever played?
Never played Fallout.
These guys, they don't play video games. Like,
I play video games.
it was a joke. Don't take it seriously. But like Fallout is so freaking amazing, and it's like top 5 for me. So when you say that Zelda Breath of the Wild is going to be the best video game I've ever played,
Again,
and I look at like the not even
right.
360 gen, but like SNES games I've played that like have a special place in my heart, like Super Mario World or whatever. It's like, is this game going to be better than Ocarina of Time? My current still favorite
and again,
Zelda game.
This isn't coming from me personally. I want everybody to know that I didn't play Zelda. What I'm hearing and what is hyping me up is these things that people are saying. So when they say things like Ocarina's down from its pedestal, and they say things like
that's like
so exciting.
Not only is that exciting, but it's like if that's wrong, it's gonna be like so heartbreaking. Because I'm like, you're just raising my hopes, and if it doesn't live up to that expectation, I'm gonna be like,
honestly,
oh, wow,
dude, I'm on the hype train right now.
I am too. I believe the hype. We spoke about it again before recording. A lot of the stuff that he was saying, like these really like hard-hitting critics, like love the game, and they said a lot of good reviews about it. I trust them. I was gonna like the game regardless. It's really hard for me not to.
Yeah, like I love Zelda,
and that's the thing. No matter where
I don't like Twilight Princess, but I still like Twilight Princess. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, what I've always said about Twilight Princess, I consider that one of the weaker Zeldas.
Yeah,
but
I still enjoyed it.
It's still an amazing video game.
Yeah.
It just so happens that Zelda's pedigree is so rich as it is that even the worst Zelda game is still going to be better than 50%
everybody
of the
hated
games out
Zelda
there.
2.
Right.
And I just beat that for the first time, and I was like, this game is great. I don't know why everybody hates this.
You like Zelda 2 now.
I really did. I really
You're
liked
gonna
it.
like
So
you're
good.
gonna like Breath of the Wild.
Right.
I'm gonna say that.
And Zelda 2 was like brutal.
Exactly.
Like I was dying over and over and over, and I was getting lost in dungeons. Like, where the hell am I going? And like the second I made progress, I'd die and have to start all over. So I don't know. I'm hyped. I'm hyped, and I'm hyped for the Switch because I want.
I am too. I am too.
Okay, so I really want to have a portable game console because the idea of being able to play AAA games in my pocket, in my hands, take it on the road, that's a great idea. So when they came up with that idea, I was like, that's awesome.
You think it's going to beat out the DS that's been...
See, I don't know if that's going to eat into the DS market. I have a feeling that they're just,
at least not right now.
I have a feeling this is what's going to happen, right?
I heard they're even making another Sun and Moon for this console.
That's the current rumor. No, obviously.
For what console?
The Switch.
Mm-hmm. Well, I mean,
that'd be sick.
It's a rumor.
I want, dude. Since we were little kids, I've wanted that Pokemon game on a console.
Everybody has.
And I remember when Pokemon, what was it? Battle? What the hell is it called? Stadium. When Pokemon Stadium came out on N64, I was like, oh, are we get? Oh, no, it's just the battles.
It doesn't make sense, though. Now it makes sense with the Switch, honestly. But, the thing about Pokemon is you go out, you explore, you trade with all these trainers. Who are you going to trade with? unless you bring it over to a friend's house or unless
It's
you
online
mingle.
though, dude.
Now it is. Before it wasn't.
Yeah, but even on the Wii U and the Wii had online to a point, right? Didn't it?
Yeah.
Bro, what's a better experience though? Going on
Yeah.
Reddit and trying to get a friend code, or going to Nintendo World and running into all these people and like.
No, I
trading and
get your
interacting?
point, but I also like having the option.
Right. Well, that's what the Switch would
Grant me
theoretically do for a Pokemon. It would be like, okay, I'm at home. I want to play my battles on my giant TV,
Right.
which I want to do.
beautiful
I really want to do
upscaled
it.
graphics, and then it's like, oh, I'm going to this convention or I'm going to see my friends. I'm going to take it,
Right.
and you get to decide how you want to play.
Dude, I can't wait to touch it. Like, there's like
The Joy-Cons, man.
I want to hold.
Let's talk
them.
about the Joy-Cons.
So I'm
Yeah.
worried that my hands are going to be too big for them, but I keep hearing that they're really comfortable in people's hands. Then I keep hearing some people saying that the Joy-Con grip is awkward, and it's actually more comfortable just holding them like this.
Right.
So I'm like, okay.
So it's awkward like this, but it's fine separated.
Yeah, and the
Yeah.
reason why it's awkward like this is because the analog stick is off center, much like the Xbox 360 one and the Xbox One controller, but it's off center to a point where it's like down and off center.
Well, no, the problem is it's not off-center, is what you're trying to say. It's just
yeah, and I'm
straight
sorry,
down.
I said it is. Yeah, so I'm getting mixed
Right.
up. The Pro controller, that's what I was getting mixed up with.
Yeah.
The Pro controller actually has that off center.
No, the Pro, according in my mind, the Pro controller is perfect. It is.
You didn't even touch it yet.
No, the design.
Oh.
It's perfect.
I don't
for
know.
home play.
I don't know yet. It reminds me a lot of what we're seeing from Microsoft, though. When I looked at it, I was like, "This looks like an
Yeah.
Xbox 360 controller."
But I mean, to be fair, if we want to go into that whole realm, somebody kind of got the offset joysticks right first.
With the GameCube.
Well, actually, it wasn't even the GameCube, but
Oh, I
Which
love
one
that
was it,
controller. To this day, favorite controller goes to the GameCube.
yeah, I mean GameCube. But
Okay.
yeah, this guy.
Big hater on the GameCube.
I'm not a big hater on the GameCube. That's a complete lie. I love that console.
Big ol' hate. No.
But yeah, so
But I really like that controller, honestly. I hate the X and Y buttons, how they are now. Like, I'm still...
standard.
Yeah.
So, I kind of don't like Nintendo's control scheme for the fact that Microsoft and Sony have had, like, the X button is basically the A button on the Xbox One controller, or
Right.
vice versa, right? And then when you go to the Nintendo, it's B and A,
Right.
I
and
don't
that
like
makes
that.
me annoyed
But
because
we-
I'm like, I'm so used to this position of my hand is accept,
Yeah.
and now it's this position.
But
you know what I mean?
the other
That's
thing
the
is
cancel, damn
Yeah,
it.
it's
We've had-
this
we've
instead
had
of-
this
Yeah,
we've had this argument before where my counterpoint to that was
it takes like 5 seconds to get adjusted,
Well,
so it's not like
not
I'm like
even
sitting
that,
there
it's
for
just-
a long time.
you're saying that coming from, well, I play a lot on the Xbox controller. But then I'm saying, well, I think the Xbox controller is awkward because I play more games on Nintendo. So
well,
it's
I'm
you know.
I'm trying to say I could pick up a PlayStation controller, which I do, and that's the console that I'm playing mostly on right now. And then when I switch over to Xbox One, I'm still fine. But when I jump over to the Wii U, oh shit, I've been hitting the wrong button for a couple times. It's this one. It's just like, again, it's not like, oh my god, for like 3 hours I've been hitting it wrong. It's just when I first pick it up, I'm like, oh yeah, it's this way.
right.
Well, Nintendo also, keep in mind, prided themselves in being different.
Yeah, but some stuff like that, it's like you're being different for the sake of being different, and you're not just.
Well, in a lot of the games, though, you have to admit that they do take the, whatever's more comfortable. It's just that if you're, like, got to hit, like, a select thing, you might have to hit the A as opposed,
So going back to the Joy-Cons, I'm interested to see how it's going to work in the Joy-Con grip, and I'm very interested to see how it's going to work just like in the strap mode, because
Right.
I think I'm really hoping they're not jipping us on the console version, like the ones that come with the console, that it does come with that rail with the little.
Oh, it does.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
So that's like what I'm looking for. I don't really want to use the wrist strap because I never really want to use the wrist strap.
Wait, what rail are you talking about?
So it's like the little rail with the wrist strap on it, but it like extends the bumpers a little bit. That way you have a little.
That's the wrist strap.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But you don't necessarily need to use the wrist strap. I'm talking about the rail.
Right, yeah, just the rail you could put on, yeah.
So that rail, I'm really interested to see how
how it extends the range.
How the Joy-Con, how it feels with and without it.
Right.
And I'm assuming, why would they make that accessory if it wasn't going to, better the comfort of the controller?
Right.
Then you move on to using the Joy-Con separately. Like, for the first time, we're going to be able to play a video game. I mean, I don't think it's the first time. Didn't like the Virtual Boy have something like that, too? With, like, a separate... No, it didn't.
No.
I don't know. I was thinking
this is the first time, I think, that we're having a
controller
you could split into 2 players, yeah.
So not even 2 players, but 2 hands. Just, like, instead of holding it like this...
Oh, yeah.
I could just go...
Well, it's the new...
You know what I mean? Like,
it's basically...
Like, I could sit here like this and be playing a game, and you wouldn't even realize, because I'm just, like, chilling.
It's supposed to be the
I like that,
the new Wiimote and Nunchuck, basically, except you don't have the cord, right? That's basically what it is. Yeah.
I remember when I had the Wiimote and Nunchuck, I was like, damn, I hate this cord. Because sometimes I'd be like, ha, oh, jerk it.
Yeah, I just know in Skyward Sword, I always bang them together a lot of the time.
I never had that problem.
I don't know. I felt like the cord was a little too short.
It was. I mean, it wasn't really a problem for me, like, the length, but I'm just saying, like, having them separated, I feel might actually be a little weird, honestly, for me, because even...
I'm just interested to see how it works.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know if I'm going to like it, and I don't know if it's going to be, like, my preferred way to play.
Right.
Like, I'm going into this thinking I'm probably going to use the Pro Controller more so than
as anything. Everyone who plans to buy a Pro Controller.
But at the same time, I hear so much stuff like, dude, these controllers are legit. So I'm like, am I wasting my money on the Pro Controller? I don't know. We'll see.
The consensus seems... If you don't feel like buying a Pro Controller, the grip is fine.
Yeah. So, moving on to the gamepad itself, I was wondering the other day if it was touchscreen or not. Because I was like, they went for this whole touchscreen tablet look, but I don't think it's a touchscreen.
It is a touchscreen.
It is a touchscreen.
Yeah, that was
so I was talking to the guys at GameStop, and they're like, no, it's not. And I was like, oh, that sucks.
GameStop.
And then I was also watching some YouTube video of the UI, and they were using the controller, not the touchscreen. And I was like, oh, I guess it is
UI. No, the touchscreen works, but I will say that Zelda has no touchscreen.
Well, no, I'm. So
it's like a game-by-game basis.
I don't want the touchscreen in my games necessarily.
Right. I mean,
I'm just saying to get around that UI, it might just be easier to click.
Yeah, I was just a little disappointed in that because I was like, they could have just had it for the menus, like just to make like swapping.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
But they didn't, so and it's not really.
Oh, you mean in-game menus?
Yeah, in Zelda. But other games, yeah.
But that's strange because So Zelda was developed for the Wii U. Right. So you'd think that would just translate right over, because isn't the inventory going to be on the gamepad?
It was supposed to be.
And it's not going to be?
No, it's exactly the same as the Switch version.
Oh, God, so that makes the Wii U version even worse. Because it's just like, hi, another game where the Wii gamepad is just pointless.
Hey,
we put a honk the horn button in Mario honk honk. Like,
I really appreciate that honk the horn button. Speaking of that, next month they're coming out with the Mario 8 Deluxe.
Mario 8 Deluxe, yes.
I got that on pre-order. We're going to have a quick look on the site.
I am definitely all about that. Mario Kart is one of my games. I often get challenged, and I often defeat people. So, catch me out.
XP share versus bitches.
Yeah,
I think
I'm taking names.
I think that might be. We might be getting the multiplayer function, the online multiplayer launching. When Mario Kart
that is a great topic. They really boasted about how their online is going to be the shit this time.
Isn't it going to be $30 too?
No definite price. They're saying that range.
I don't know. They said it was like between 25 and 30.
How do you
that's
guys
what I
feel
mean.
about that?
So
You think it's going to be like Xbox and PlayStation Network caliber, or you think it's still
Right.
going to be like a draggy type of...
So PC gaming, you don't have to pay for online.
We've been through this.
And like, I get the argument of like paying for the servers, but at what point am I going, as someone who, I'm in the minority, I know, as someone who owns all three consoles, at what point am I like, damn, I'm paying for 3 annual services right now. Why? You know what I mean?
That's hard.
But as someone going in and like looking at the Switch as my only console, say, like someone like you,
Mm-hmm.
$30, that's a drop in the bucket.
And
And
this
if
is
you're gonna
$30 a year?
Yeah.
It's going to be
So it's
something
probably,
like
yes.
that.
Again, it's not confirmed.
But now here's something interesting that I heard. I heard that Nintendo said some games, depending on what the developer wants to do, might not charge you for online, depending on the game.
So wait, so if the game charges you for online, that's a completely different story.
No. I'm
Because
saying
then we're getting into the realm of like Final Fantasy.
yeah, no,
11.
not MMOs. I'm saying that apparently, from what I read, Nintendo apparently said that the online service is going to be like a fee, and that's going to cover.
Oh, I get what you're saying.
Yeah, it's going to cover online games. But if a developer was like, "Oh, well, we'll like cover our own servers or something,"
Like we don't want
You
it
can-
tied to the Nintendo
yeah,
account.
like they can still play. You can still play that game online as long as the developer wants you to play for free.
So that you're saying like you don't, if to use Nintendo servers, it's $30.
Probably, yeah.
Or
That's what it
around
seems
$30.
like. That's
but
what
if
it
the
seems
developer's
like.
like, we're not going to use Nintendo servers, we're going to use our own.
But-
And it's like,
But
all right.
that's interesting too, because then you wonder, is that $30 a month going to even be worth it then?
Well,
You know
got
what I
games
am-
like Splatoon and
Yeah.
Mario Kart.
Well, those I was just going to
Smash
say.
Brothers?
All the first
Well, if
party
that's not
Nintendo-
announced yet, man, we don't know. Is there going to be another Smash Brothers
it's
game?
coming out.
I know.
It's coming
I don't... That,
I mean,
I don't know if it's
the
coming out.
developer of Smash Brothers hates making Smash Brothers.
Right. He's been...
Sakurai?
Yeah.
He's
Because it
been-
affects his
Sakurai's-
health. That's why.
Sakurai's been trying to stop since the GameCube Melee.
And he's never going
Yeah.
to be able to.
Yeah,
Poor
but it's
guy.
his own fault though.
Because he
he's
doesn't
like-
trust anybody
he's
else
like,
to do it.
I need to be in charge of this.
Yeah.
But
I
mean,
don't blame him.
I know. I mean, like, I love
I
Sakurai.
respect him for it, honestly, but like I also respect the fact that he just wants to be done with it.
Yeah. I mean, but honestly, and I thought about this before, what they did with the latest Smash, like, I would not be upset if they used that basically as, like, the base engine for all future Smash games. Like, I feel like they really, polished the hell out of that game.
So I didn't really...
Is this about Brawl?
Yeah, I didn't really like Brawl.
I'm talking about Smash 4.
Oh, no, I'm sorry. That's what I meant. I didn't really like that one.
Oh, you
The
didn't
Wii U
like
one?
Smash 4?
Yeah.
He doesn't like
I
Smash
like the
Brothers.
Brawl game.
I really
I
hated Brawl.
I liked Melee and Brawl. Those are the two that I liked.
You didn't like the best one with Mega Man and Pac-Man and Cloud Strife?
I hate Cloud. He's broken.
You didn't like that one with Duck Hunt Dog?
Duck Hunt Dog gets on my
No, the
nerves.
character selection was great.
And their movesets?
I
the
wouldn't be
gameplay?
mad if they just transferred the game over and said, "Hey,
That'd
here's
be
more
great.
DLC."
Do it.
Exactly.
Do
Yeah,
that.
exactly.
I'd buy it again.
But I'm saying even
just to play another.
even moving
Yeah.
forward, I don't think they need to, because from Melee to Brawl to this game, they worked from the ground up to develop each of those engines, and I feel like
Oh, and the music for Brawl was
The music
just
is
well,
really good.
yeah, that's a whole
Wait,
discussion.
so are we talking
right
about
there.
Brawl or are we talking about... So I get them confused because...
Brawl is for the Wii,
What
and the
the
Wii
hell?
U is Smash 4.
So it's just called Smash 4?
Smash 4 Wii U.
Yeah.
So it's probably going to be Smash 4 the Switch.
That's lame.
Oh,
But
I
that-
get it. It's
that was the
for
pun.
this
Yeah, that was the pun.
It's a pun.
Sakurai, the troll master.
I love puns.
Smash for the... What do you mean pun?
It's
Because it's
Smash 4.
Smash 4,
Smash number
meaning
4.
for the system.
Exactly.
FOR.
Smash for the Wii U.
But it's also the 4th iteration of the game. Yeah. But
Like-
anyway,
Like Dream Drop Distance. That's a great game, right? Kingdom Hearts 3D. For the 3DS game. For the 3DS, it was Dream Drop Distance. Okay. Sorry. That joke fell flat.
I'm so sorry, dude. I'm so sorry. I've said it before in our episodes. I haven't really played much Kingdom Hearts, so
Well,
it's like...
Let's talk about Kingdom Hearts, because Nintendo's been talking up big game about Unreal
They've
Engine
been talking a
with the
big
Switch.
game about third-party development,
Right,
too.
but this thing about Unreal Engine, Miyamoto said, yeah, we mastered that now. And now the Switch is, like, natively...
I kind of feel like he's all talk now.
But look,
It's like we just started. We've mastered.
Switch fully supports Unreal 4,
Yeah.
right? So
And I
this,
think it also supports Unity.
it supports so many things.
Unity? Like Assassin's Creed Unity?
No, the Unity game development platform.
Oh, thanks.
What I think Ukulele's using that, right?
Yeah. So, all right. So,
Unreal 4.
I was in game design in Rutgers.
I wasn't.
And we used the Unity
I wasn't
engine.
in Rutgers.
I wasn't in Rutgers.
So we use the Unity engine to make our games.
Okay.
So it's an engine, just
Okay.
like Unreal is an engine.
Okay.
So you make games.
Point is, Kingdom Hearts is being developed in Unreal 4, correct?
Yeah.
So is the Final Fantasy VII Remake.
I don't know if I'm gonna like that, but go ahead.
I don't think I am. I might not either. But the point is, these are games that people want on Nintendo systems. Like, people have been wanting Kingdom Hearts on Nintendo systems
That's very
since
true.
the Wii.
Because it like seemed like there's something about Disney and
Yes.
Nintendo that just seemed like a perfect mesh.
But also Square.
And
Square.
hold on.
Squaresoft.
I want to get into one thing. Disney and Nintendo. You seem like you're perfect for each other. Why the hell is Nintendo World at Universal?
That's a whole other
assholes.
discussion.
You ruined it for me. Now I have to go to Universal and buy 2 tickets to go to Harry Potter and Nintendo. I hate you. Proceed.
I mean, Mickey Mouse and Smash Brothers would be fucking insane. Like the Epic Mickey.
Dude, Epic Mickey 2 was actually a good game. Well, it was an enjoyable game.
Let's take this back.
Because Epic Mickey 1 was like, oh my god, this is going to be great. And when I bought it and played
Oh yeah,
it, I
the
like,
hype
this is
was
so
amazing.
bad.
Yeah, because Epic Mickey, it was like, they put all of their funds into, like, the development of the, like, imagine if we did this and we did this. And then it was like, all right, we got to make a game out of all this crap we
game, like,
came up with.
The story was pretty cool. Like, the direction they were going in was
But then
pretty
it was
cool.
like,
But like the
we can't
gameplay
make a
itself,
game.
Yeah.
So,
But the
Again, what's
second
their
one,
obsession with
it felt-
paint?
well, that was Disney.
I bet Nintendo had
I don't think Nintendo had anything to do with
Nintendo
it.
had a slight hand.
I don't
Slight
know.
hand.
But Epic Mickey 2 corrected the gameplay, and then
Yeah.
nobody bought it because how bad the first one was. And I was really looking forward to Epic Mickey 3. Anyway, going back to Switch talk, I don't know. Going back to the controllers, the one concern that I have is when I'm playing in handheld mode, are the rails gonna like just give out one day and then the screen's just gonna plop onto the floor and I'm just gonna be like, holding the
No, I don't think
Joy-Cons?
so.
yeah, I don't think so. I think that,
That's like my number one concern.
didn't somebody from
I
the
actually
press
bought-
drop one already?
I think Jeff
Oh.
Gerstmann did.
He
drop
did? He's
his.
So I
he
think...
said the kickstand flew off and then. No, wait, that was CNET. CNET. I think
let's
Jeff
not get started
I
on
think
that.
Jeff Gerstmann. Yeah, that was bullshit.
Yeah.
But I think Jeff Gerstmann also dropped his, and he was like, "Yeah, it was fine." But I think CNET dropped it, and the kickstand flew off, and then you were just able to snap it back
Yeah.
in. Like it wasn't like oh, it broke.
Yeah.
And now
Well, that was the thing, and that's why I said I don't want to get into this, but like CNET was like, oh, this kickstand came off, it's so cheap. Meanwhile, it was designed to snap off so that you can put it back in. That was a design choice.
CNET just wanted some clickbait bullshit.
Yeah, we're not going to get into that.
So they were like, "Oh, look at the kickstand. It does not sit well. If you put if you put the tablet on a couch, it
and
will
you
just
knock
fall
it over,
over.
it'll fall
Look, if
over.
I just sit on the couch next to it, the gamepad falls. Why would you put it on the couch? Put it on the damn table."
But so about the rails, I mean, It's possible that could happen.
Ah, crotch.
It's possible that
I just needed to stretch.
that can happen, but also keep in mind that there's run-of-the-mill screws holding those rails in. So if you did need to replace those rails, you could actually just do it yourself, probably.
So, talking more about the controllers, the price point really bothers me. It really bothers me. Because, like, the Pro controller was, what, $80? $70?
That's a lot.
Nuts. When you could buy an Xbox One or PS4 controller, and PS4 has a touchpad on it, and that's like $64.
Yeah, I mean, and there's the thing, like...
I get the tech with the camera.
Yeah, it's like, I'm not trying to... damage control it. It's like, even being as big as a Nintendo fan as I am, I was disappointed by those prices. But
you're technically buying 2 controllers. You're not just getting one.
Well, it's the whole fact that even with the Pro controller, they did want to include the things like HD Rumble, which is apparently going to be a sleeper hit function.
Isn't like HD Rumble just like taptic feedback? Or haptic? How do you say that shit?
No.
Like the shit on the iPhone, like the
haptic feedback.
Yeah, there you go. Isn't it just that?
No, I think it's like I have no idea how it works. They said that it's like based on how like a speaker works or something. It's really weird, and that's one of the things I want to experience.
Yeah.
Too bad that Zelda doesn't take advantage of this. Again. The port syndrome.
That's like the perfect game to take advantage of.
The port syndrome, being a port of the Wii U. But again,
the Wii U gamepad didn't have Rumble, did it?
Did it?
I don't think.
I never used the gamepad, so I wouldn't know.
I don't think it did.
I was very.
I was adamant of not buying a controller for the Wii U.
I didn't really pay attention to it, honestly.
Yeah, me too.
I just had it in my hands. And
it was huge. You were talking about the Pro or the gamepad?
The gamepad.
Huge thing.
So we're gonna.
I like big controllers, but damn.
We're gonna compare the sizing.
And that's the funny thing. It's actually the same size screen as the gamepad, but because the resolution is so much better, like, and the design of the console is so much more sleek, and that's another thing.
There's a fan in that thing. There's a fan.
This is the console. The console is smaller and more sleek than the gamepad, which wasn't a console. It was just like a external monitor, basically.
So that's crazy, right? There's a fan on the thing in your hands. Yeah. Like that. Like originally, there were rumors that the base was going to be the powerhouse thing, and somehow it's a hybrid console where, like, okay, you're taking half the computer out, so it's going to down, like, the resolution and everything's just going to come down. But no, the whole console's in your hands. The screen, that's the console.
Yeah.
The base thing is just a piece of plastic to go from USB to HDMI.
Oh shit!
It's not anything. It's not. There's no.
Yeah, like
there's no. I don't quote me because I didn't open it up. But it's not like there's no graphics card or anything inside that thing.
And to touch on that point, I think for me, the most exciting part of the Switch isn't even the Switch right now, but the prospect of what can be with the Switch in the future. So going back onto this point you were just making...
Because you could make a base with extra stuff and just, instead of buying a whole new console, the Switch 2, just buy the base and plug the console in and then double the power. You know, that'd be cool.
I mean, you could do whatever with that, because if you're gonna have like a modular system like that, you could up the graphics, like you could up the GPU, right?
Actually, I heard there's a rumor that there's gonna be a Switch Pro. It's a rumor.
Yeah,
what's a Switch Pro?
It's a rumor.
Like I said, like kind of like where the base,
the dock will add computing power.
The dock will be like another computer, and then you put it in, up the resolution on the TV.
Maybe maybe the 4K, maybe something.
Look,
but that's what I'm saying. It can be done with the Switch. So that's why I'm saying I feel like the Switch right now isn't even what's exciting. It's what can they do with the Switch in the future.
So I just generally get excited around new consoles.
Yes.
Like every new console. I'm really excited to
I know
play
that
it.
about you, yes.
So I never was like that as a kid, though. Like, I'd be interested in the consoles, but I didn't go out and buy them. It just started, like, last gen, where I was like, I need to... Actually, no, I had...
How do you feel about?
Never mind.
How do you feel about Nintendo sticking with their roots and just coming out with cartridges?
So that's a cool idea, because you don't have to deal with the load times. The problem is, like, most gaming is moving to an all-digital future,
Right.
and the internal memory on this thing isn't built that great. On top of that, you have micro SD cards, which are way slower than even a regular SD card, right?
I think that it's going to work fine. I know we talked about this. I think that
the problem is the speed, the read and write speed on an SD card. Because even when you use an SD card on like a GoPro, the GoPro even has some problems. So I don't know. It might not be a problem, or when you're putting a game on an SD card, it might be slow as hell.
Well, again,
we don't know.
But this is why they opted for cartridges. You know?
Yeah,
what I mean?
I get it. Because you want to. They were pushing for physical. All right, so publishers have like a thing with game companies like GameStop, right? GameStop wants games in physical format, so they have people trading,
and
you know
gamers
what I mean?
like it too. Like
gamers like it,
I hate games.
but if like we're at a point where if some look, I know on Xbox One they were like, oh, we're going all digital, and everybody lost their shit, and then they switched it, right? switched it.
Yeah.
I feel like if that happened now, wow, there's a car alarm going off, really. I feel like if that happened now, people would be more acceptive.
Because you gotta download the game anyways.
Yeah.
Which
like,
is bogus.
I mean, that's the thing on like PlayStation 4 and Xbox One.
I hate
You
it.
put the disc in
to download it,
to download the game.
Now
like,
this is
and it's not downloading, I'm sorry.
I inserted that word.
Installing.
Installing.
So you're not downloading it from the web, so it's actually a little bit faster.
But here's the thing, and again with the Switch, no installs. You got Zelda, put it in the cart, put it in the system,
Boom.
Press play, 10 seconds of loading the game up, you're in.
Yep.
So that sounds great.
It's amazing.
But I still like the idea of downloading a game and just having it on the console.
Which you still could do.
I don't like it.
I like it because
I don't like it.
Dude, you're downloading the game.
Bro, back then, and by back then I mean like just a few years ago, 500 gigabytes was like this insane concept. Now it means nothing.
Dude, I have a 4 gigabyte Xbox 360. That's 4 gigs.
Bro, you know how many games you could have played on the 360 with 4 gigabytes? Now 500 gigabytes.
I mean, not that
big.
many.
Games are too big.
Technically, not that many.
Yo, Zelda is 13 gigabytes.
I know.
I don't even have that for my Wii U.
No, but I'm saying, you know how small that is compared to other...
Yeah, but also that's like in terms of the graphical capacity and whatnot of the other games. You know?
Right, but I think it's... well, I won't get into this, but I think developers don't
like
really...
we're not getting into an argument of like graphics versus...
No, let's talk about that actually, yeah. Your saves on the Switch actually save to the console and not the cartridge. Now, I was a little upset about this when
I'm a little upset about that too. But what if I just wanted to give you the game and be like, "Oh, check out where I am"?
But then
we used to do that. Like,
this is why I said, you know what? This is actually better because you can lend me the game and say, "Here, try the game." I save my file. I will give it back to you. Gee, I really want that game. I buy my own copy. I still got my save.
That's true, but like that's like every.
So it works like a disc.
But that's like every other console.
I know. but
the difference is
it's not like 3DS and
no. I'm talking. All right, so on Xbox
cartridges
on Xbox One, you save it to the cloud.
Yeah.
And then if I go to your house and you have an Xbox One, I could just grab my data from the cloud and show you my save game. You know what I mean?
Right.
So that'd be nice. Something like that.
You could just
great.
bring your Switch and put it in my dock.
I got it. I get it. Sometimes I don't want to take stuff out of the house. Like I don't know. I need to
I see
feel it
myself
in my
traveling
hands.
with this a lot.
I need to feel it in my
Yes.
hands, damn it, before I can make that decision.
And-
Because I don't like Jeff did drop it on cement.
Yeah.
And it was fine.
I mean, I think that he did notice that the Joy-Con was sliding in and out a little looser.
Yeah,
than
he
before.
did say that.
But again, he dropped it on concrete. If that happens, I mean, chances are something. And it seems like people tore this down already, like took it apart, and it seems like it's very serviceable. Like a lot of the parts.
So
are very
was that
serviceable.
GameStop insurance policy stupid to buy then?
I didn't get it.
I did.
Fuck.
You
I
got
did.
it?
Yeah, I did.
Because
Because I was like, I'm probably gonna drop this shit. So
The worst guy over here.
yeah, I know.
How much was it?
$50
$50?
Yeah.
That could have been a game, man.
I was thinking the same exact thing, but the guy was like, "What if you drop it?" And I was like, "You're right."
man, he's just being a salesman.
I know, but
and
I
he
was like-
got you.
But no, it's not like other consoles where the Xbox One sits in the cubby, the PlayStation 4 sits in the cubby. This shit's gonna go everywhere.
Dave,
So what if I pull a Jeff Gersman and the shit drops out of my hands?
Doesn't it come with the straps? Didn't we just talk about that?
No, the straps don't actually go on the console.
Oh,
From what I understand, they don't. They only
yeah,
go
no.
on like if you're
At
playing.
least not yet. There's no maybe someone will come out with some kind of strap.
It looks
thing.
like the straps are just in the Joy-Cons. So
I
when
mean, you
you're,
have a beautiful carpet.
no, but if I'm out on the street playing
Yeah.
the game and I trip, which I do because I'm clumsy. If I
Why would
trip,
you be playing it walking?
because I do that. Because I'm like that.
Yeah. So maybe it's a good thing you got the insurance. Then.
I don't know. I felt like whatever. It's $50 for
Yeah.
2 years.
And
It's
this
like-
is the same guy that was like $70 for a Pro controller. Maybe if it was $60, I'd buy it.
I bought it!
But that extra $10, $50 for in case something happens. But then this is the same guy who's also like, fuck
wait,
screen
hold on.
protectors.
We can make the same argument with health insurance. Oh, this premium in case I get sick.
Yeah, you can make that argument.
Yeah, I don't like health insurance either.
Well, we're not going to talk about that.
Yeah, we're not. But
So, guys,
I'm trying to say, like, it's in,
I think you're just trying to make yourself feel a little bit better.
look, I did it because I thought, what's the worst case scenario?
Yeah.
I go through 2 years and I lost $50.
Well, I
Wait,
guess
I've spent $50 on
I guess you
dumber
don't
shit.
need the screen protector now then.
I bought the screen protector. Dude, so I went nuts with this console launch. I bought,
Could you, like, damage it a little bit and get a brand new one for me?
I don't know how it works.
They might give you one of theirs. Like one of their
Like
That's
the
what they
used
do,
ones?
man.
I don't know,
Ew.
maybe.
Refurbished shit.
Maybe, yeah.
Oh, boo, Dave.
I don't know why
I'm
I bought
so
that.
sorry.
But yeah.
It makes sense. GameStop would do some shady shit like that.
I don't like GameStop either.
I hate them.
I really do.
You know what? Comment on the section below if you're not talking about the Switch. Tell us a really bad GameStop story.
I have many.
Tell us a
But
really
yeah,
bad
like
one.
I usually buy my stuff from Amazon. I had my Xbox One pre-ordered on Amazon. I had my Xbox One S pre-ordered on
What made you
Amazon.
go to GameStop for this one?
Because you couldn't pre-order it on Amazon. The shit was gone.
Actually, if it wasn't for me texting you, you would have paid $500 for like 1-2 Switch and all that other crap in a
Which I
bundle.
bought anyway, so I probably
This
should
guy.
have just kept that bundle.
Oh,
Yeah, I did buy 1-2 Switch. I bought it off Amazon
Well, at least we'll
for
be able
$40 because
the Prime. Yeah.
the Prime membership.
Well, at least we'll get to try out HD Rumble then.
I'll have it tomorrow.
Yeah.
So.
Final thoughts?
So we didn't really go into the UI. It's 11 o'clock. So we've been talking for an hour. The UI, I really hope it. I have seen it and it's a little clean.
Very clean, actually.
So it's a little clean. I need to see it. I need to see it in action. I need to see what it does. I'm looking forward to the online play again.
Dave, you're very hesitant to trust
It's because the Wii U. I'm going into this console launch already being burned by the Wii U, and the Wii U was kind of a short life cycle, right?
Yeah, I
A little
agree.
bit.
So
Yeah.
everybody makes this crazy argument with the Xbox One because the Scorpio's coming out at the end of the year, and they're like, oh, it's only a 4-year life cycle. But then Nintendo does that shit with the Switch, and everybody's cool with it. Like, I'm hesitant of both. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, I love Nintendo. I love video games, and I love competition. You know, I don't want PlayStation. I don't want Sony to lose. I don't want Microsoft to lose, and I don't want Nintendo to lose because I feel like the less competition, the less innovation we're gonna have.
And I feel like
so more freaking competition just makes them want to do more stuff to compete with each other.
And that's a good point to like.
I don't think Nintendo competes with anybody.
I don't know. I keep saying I keep hearing that. Then they're adding online play to their consoles.
You know what I mean? Just doing their own thing. Like, look at the E3s for years and years and years. Everyone's like, Nintendo better, you know, I heard they're coming to E3 and they got some big news. They better step up their game because this could make or break Nintendo. But then here I am saying,
that's an exaggeration, make or break.
No, I've heard that.
They got a war chest.
I've
heard war chest of money. What do you mean make or break?
I've heard that for the Wii U. The exact terms make or break, and I was just like, honestly, if you pay attention to Nintendo in general, first of all, they don't say shit in E3, and it's not because they don't have anything. They do. It's just they have their own press release, so they give either little like hints towards something or just like little baby pieces of something else, and then they dip and everyone's like, Nintendo fucked up, and it's just like, no, like they got like their own direct in like later in the summer, and they talk about everything and they just give like full-blown trailers to these games.
And I gotta bring up this point too. People will constantly be like, oh, Nintendo's going downhill, all this stuff, yet they forget that they're the only company really that is successful in the portable dedicated gaming market.
Yeah.
No.
Sony tried.
So many times Sony tried.
No, they tried twice. The Vita and the PSP.
I mean,
the Vita was like, oh, wow. I actually looked at the Vita and was like, I might buy a Vita.
The Vita.
Then they stopped making games, and I was like, there's no point to buy a Vita. And that's kind of what happened with the Wii U.
Yeah.
And that's why I'm scared. I'm scared that the Switch is going to come out, and it's just going to be another one of those consoles where, okay, I just have it for Nintendo games. It's not terrible because there's a lot of good Nintendo games, but I'd like a console where I can go, especially a portable console like this where I could take it on the go. If I could get Mass Effect on that, maybe I won't get it on an Xbox One, and maybe I'll play it on Nintendo's console.
With Nintendo being open to like third-party developers, like that's gonna be like
I'm just worried for two reasons, because third parties are going to look at the install base and they're going to say, is the install base high? If it's high, then it's going to be worth the money to develop the game on this console, because you got to think in dollars and cents. That's what every company is doing. You know what I mean?
Yep.
They're in it to make money. They're not in it to, cater to us.
All right. Why don't we close on predictions? So, like, what do we each think? Do we see of the Switch? Do we think it's going to be a roaring success? Do we think it's going to be, just enough to get by? Is it going to flop like before the end of the year?
Okay, so I don't think it's going to flop. I don't think it's going to flop by the end of the year. I don't know where that came from.
I don't know people's opinions.
But I also don't think, so Nintendo's looking at this like, this is going to be the Wii again. And I feel like they're so focused on that. Like, let's strike lightning again with the Wii, yeah. And it's like, dude, just make a good console. You know what I mean? And maybe the price point, when you're an average consumer, not me, and not you, because you don't like other consoles. I'm not. That's just him. You know what I mean? And you're not like me, where you're gonna buy every console and just spend the money on every console, right? You're going to look at the price point and go, $299. I could get a PS4 Pro for what, like $400 now? Right?
Yeah.
Or maybe you could get a
You could get a PS4 for under $300.
I think you get a PS4 for under $300. I mean the Pro, the 4K one for $400.
I think it's $400. Yeah.
I think you get an Xbox 3. I think you get an Xbox One for like $250. So it's like $300 when this console is just starting and doesn't have all those games. Is it gonna get all those games? So the selling point...
Or does it matter if it gets those games?
Yes, because the selling point is the portability, right?
Right.
But if you're like, hey, I want to play Grand Theft Auto, I want to play Red Dead Redemption, I want to play Mass Effect and Fallout and yada, 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 and I'd love it on the portable, that's how I'm thinking. Like, I'd love to have that on the go if we're going on vacation. Cool, I can bring my games. If they have that, then they have a huge success on their hands. If they don't have the third-party support, I feel like it's just going to be like every other Nintendo console, where it sells well enough, and that's it. I don't think it's going to hit the level of success the Wii had, because the Wii was a crazy phenomenon where, like, grandparents were having that shit. I don't picture grandparents having the Switch in their house. Like, everybody's...
I think
you know how many people bought the Wii just to play bowling and boxing games? I don't know. I don't know if we're going to have that kind of level of success with the Switch.
I think they're catering more to gamers with this console.
I think they are to a point, but at the same time, I still think that they're banking on like another Wii type success. I think it's going to sell more than the Wii U.
Oh,
I don't know.
It definitely will sell more than the Wii U.
I don't know if it's going to sell as much as the Wii. That's what I'm trying to say. That's a high bar.
Yeah.
And I don't think they're going to hit that.
All right. My point will lead off of this. It's not going to flop, obviously. No. Not at all. Nintendo's combining their portable and console divisions, which means more first-party games more often. I think that the system will be a success.
Wait. Are they, though? Because they said they're still going to do the 3DS. And on that, I'm going to say one thing, and then I'll let you get back to what you're saying. Pulling a Kanye. I think if this thing takes off, they might pull back on the 3DS and just throw all their stuff on this.
Yeah.
Because what's the point
I'm
of
going to
dividing...
respond to that.
What's the point of dividing the market?
Yeah.
So right now, I think they're like, yeah, we're going to support the 3DS. Of course we are. Because they don't know if it's going to take off or not.
They did the same thing with the Game Boy when the DS came out. They said, Game Boy's not going anywhere.
Then the DS took off.
Yeah.
And they're like, yeah, Game Boy's gone.
Yeah.
Game Boy's gone.
So no, when they're like, yeah, 3DS, they're just saying that so that they, can have
selling
something.
consoles. Because that thing is still selling.
Yeah.
They don't want to tell people,
because
no, we're not
content.
supporting that anymore. Oh, shit, why buy it?
Because of the content on it.
Yeah.
But here's the thing.
3DS is a great system.
But what's happening with the Switch is I think it's going to be a success, and I think it's going to be a high success. And the reason that I say that, and I'm not just saying that because I love Nintendo, even though you might say that, Dave, but I think
at least you got backing. I'm personally just as much as a big fan of Nintendo. My first console ever. I still dedicated...
everybody's first console. Well...
my first we're old, Dave. We're old. You know what the kids' first consoles are now?
The Xbox 360, bro!
Okay, but
I'm not dissing anybody. I love the Xbox 360.
At least you have, information backing me. I'm just I'm biased.
I think it's going to be a big success because I think that the portability aspect, at least among gamers, does speak to gamers. That is a high selling point, and I'm going to say I don't know if it's going to sell Wii levels, but then again, that's not bad.
No, the Wii's level of success,
right?
Isn't that the highest selling console next to the PS2, or did it actually outsell the PS2?
I don't
think it did outsell the PS2.
But again, the PS2.
Another story. I'm just saying I don't think it's going to hit that.
It's going to be a big success, and I think that what they're doing with indie developers is very helpful for them.
Binding of Isaac's going to be.
I think by them splitting up their releases and not having an amazing launch is going to benefit them because I do agree with this theory that this is not the real launch. I think that Christmas and the holidays.
We're the beta testers.
Yes, I think that Mario is the launch title.
Oh, Mario.
That's going to be the launch title.
You just reminded me of something. I was going to say that before when we were talking about the lack of games. You bought an NES, you got in the packed in Super Mario Brothers.
Yeah.
You bought a SNES, you got the packed-in Super Mario World. You bought an N64, I don't think it was packed in, but Mario 64 was out that day. And then even GameCube was the first one to, like, not give a Mario game that day, but they had Luigi's Mansion, so it's still a Mario
which
type
is
franchise.
Phenomenal.
Right, but the Wii, which was the top-selling Nintendo console, launched with what?
Twilight
a port
Princess.
of a Zelda game from the previous gen console.
But it also gave the Wii, like, the Wii also came with Wii Sports.
Wii Sports is
Right.
what did it.
I think
Honestly.
Wii Sports is the highest selling Wii game. And that's because it came packed in with the Wii U.
Right.
I mean, god damn it, Wii and Wii U.
But did you really want to pay $350 for a Switch that comes bundled with
No, it would have
Switch?
been great to have a $300 Switch with 1-2 Switch in it.
To be
Just
honest,
saying, because like we just talked about, PS4 and Xbox One are more powerful consoles, and they're $250.
now
They don't have the portability, but they are more.
Now
powerful
they
consoles.
are, and this is the big thing.
Now they are, but in the future you'll have to buy an additional thing if they go that route. They're not going to just be like, "Oh yeah, we pushed the system update that somehow updates your hardware."
One of the reasons why I'm also excited, another reason why I'm most excited, is because this is the first Nintendo console, for me personally, since the GameCube, that I've actually been hyped for the console. GameCube, I wanted the day came out. Wii, I waited until Brawl came out. Wii U, I waited until Smash 4 came out. I'm buying Switch launch again. This is the first time I've been this excited about a Nintendo console at launch since GameCube. Okay?
My last super excited Nintendo launch was N64, and I couldn't get it because I didn't have the money and I was too young. I did get the Wii on launch, and I just kind of fell into that
Sad story.
Yeah.
But anyway, so I think that the Switch as a piece of tech, as a handheld, is very impressive, and I think this is very different for Nintendo, because I feel like I'm excited for the console not just to play these great Nintendo games, but I'm excited at it as a piece of tech. I think the Switch is a really cool piece of tech as a handheld.
Ice cubes.
Honestly,
1, 2, or 3.
I do agree with them. This is out of all the consoles, oh yeah, I'm excited for this console because of all these games. But this is the first time I'm excited for the console just because the console is great.
The concept. Right. We still have to see,
Because we're not looking at... Alright, so when PS4 and Xbox One launched, it was graphics! Oh my god, Blu-ray players and blah! So it's oh, that's really cool. You get a bang for your buck. That's another thing. You don't get a Blu-ray player in this thing, but you have Blu-ray players in Xbox One and the PS4. And you could go on the market and buy a Blu-ray player for $100 or $200. So that's another thing why I don't get the price point. There's something in there that's making the price that high, and I think it's the Joy-Con. I think it's the tech in the Joy-Cons.
I think it's the fact that it's a console that's much more powerful than the Wii U, but it's this thin. I think that's where that money is going.
I don't know. There's something that I don't know. I feel like $250 was the sweet spot, and they missed the sweet spot for casual gamers. For casual gamers.
I'll tell you another reason why it's going to be a success and why I think that you're wrong.
I hope I am.
Because who was lining up hours before the Wii U came out in order for them to get it on launch day? 2 people?
I don't remember. I don't know.
In the United States?
I don't know. Wasn't it a big launch, though?
Compare it to this.
Compared to this, yeah, this is huge.
Exactly.
But
the
I'm
3DS,
saying,
who lined up to get 3DS on launch? Nobody.
You sure? I think he's just bullshitting.
Yeah. It was not.
I think he looked at one video and was "Oh, nobody." No. Anecdotal evidence.
Wii U,
fake
3DS.
news.
As successful as the 3DS is, it was not a hyped system going in. In fact, it did poorly at a $250 price point.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. The price point. again, as like if you are just an average consumer who doesn't buy every console, and you're a casual gamer especially, you're definitely gonna go, oh wow, I can take this on the go, and that's gonna be a huge selling point. But you're also gonna go, but I have a 4K TV, and these other consoles work on 4K, and they have 4K Blu-ray players in them.
Dave,
you know what I mean? Like it's.
But here's another point too.
I don't know.
Here's another point too. Compare, the Wii U, who was excited at launch, versus the Switch. Also, when is the Switch launching? Not holiday.
That's true.
But people are still more hyped than they were for the Wii U.
Yeah, I was surprised that they didn't put it on a holiday launch.
Soft launch. Mario.
It blew me away, honestly. Like, we were watching it, and then we're like, all right, when is this coming out? And it's just like, it's coming out
in 3 months. Wait, it was like next month.
Yeah, it was
I was like, that is
January,
way too soon. All this money I gotta spend.
Yeah. Dude, going back to that real quick, I spent like $600.
Good night, SpongeBob.
Yeah.
So go ahead, Steve. You're gonna finish this off,
and then
we're gonna take our little trip over to get the Switch.
Honestly, I'm really excited for it. N64, I wanted it so bad. I don't think I've ever wanted a console that much since N64.
Same.
GameCube was a solid second place. The Wii, it was great. Unfortunately, my least favorite console. I'm sure it did great on its own because of the demographic it targeted, but me particularly, I wasn't a big fan of a lot of the decisions they made. The only thing I had to look forward was just the franchise games that they normally do, and that came like every so often.
And that's what I'm worried about with this console.
Which were amazing, though.
They were amazing.
Really
on the Wii.
When they came out, it was good.
Two of my personal
Punch-Out, dude. They brought back Punch-Out.
Right.
But I want to say, shout-outs to Donkey Kong Returns.
Right.
And Kirby Return to Dreamland.
No!
Those two games.
No! Kirby's Epic Yarn.
I like Return to Dreamland more.
You are nuts.
I do love Epic Yarn, but yeah. Exactly.
You're wrong. You're just wrong.
No, yeah, it was great for what it was. I personally like the Wii U more than the Wii. But again, the Wii U was one of those things. It was just like, okay, I have Mario Kart, and this is going to last me until Smash Brothers comes out. In between that, I can have Donkey Kong Tropical Freeze.
That's what I'm saying.
Which was a good game. Visually, all these games were like stunning to me. The HD was just like phenomenal. Wind Waker HD, Twilight Princess HD. It was a throwback to the games that I liked when I was playing both Wii and GameCube. Mm-hmm. So I was a happy camper, and it came out more often so that it wasn't like, okay, I gotta wait a while. My Wii U's not collecting dust. It was just like, okay, now I can move on to this, and I can move on to that.
But yeah, I do agree with you, though. I feel like the Wii U was just like, here's the big Nintendo game. Now we wait till the next big Nintendo game comes out.
And that's what I'm worried about, man. It's, again, like, everybody acts like third party's not a big deal. It kind of is, man.
Yeah.
Because it makes it from, like, this is the only console I need to, yeah, I have a PlayStation 4 and a Switch. You know what I mean? Or I have an Xbox One and a Switch because I wanted to play those Nintendo games, but I really wanted to. If they could get the third-party market, they have
but let me tell you,
a juggernaut.
If
they'll have everything.
If Andromeda came out on the Switch, would you buy it on the Switch or would you buy it on a more powerful console? You'd buy it on the more powerful console, man.
It's tough, because I already have it on pre-order.
Actually, knowing you'd buy both copies, so you could play it on the go.
I might. Because, alright, so I like Xbox One a lot more than I like my PS4, and I know I'm in the minority there, because everybody loves the PS4. So I have Andromeda on pre-order for Xbox One, so I did get it for the weaker console. You know what I mean? If I really cared that much more... But
X1 and PS4 is not the same as
It's not like
Switch.
day and night, yeah. But...
Because if that game did get ported to Switch, which I think it could be, it would be reduced, I would say, like, pretty noticeably.
And that's what sucks, man. I get it. You can't get the full console in your hands. I get it. But damn it, man. I want to play those games on the go. I would buy Mass Effect on the go. You know what would really knock out the park? If every one of these dumb companies could just get together for one thing. We allow our save files to be readable on all the consoles. That's it. That's all. That's it. You go from PlayStation and then you go to Xbox. Cool. Your friend has an Xbox. Let the game file read on the Xbox.
What about cross-platform multiplayer?
That'd be cool.
That's
too.
what I want to see.
That'd be cool too. The problem is they can't regulate
there
it
someday.
It seems that way.
I mean, Microsoft said
yeah.
we'll do it, and then Sony was like, no. So I don't know.
Microsoft already did it with themselves too, with the PC and the Xbox itself.
Microsoft's been super open to stuff, and I want Nintendo to get to that point. You fuckers ruining every YouTube channel ever.
Yeah. But anyways.
Stop.
Anyways, these were some bold statements of, as I mentioned earlier. That's what's getting me hyped. I was not going to lie. I really was excited for it because I'm a Nintendo fan, true blue Nintendo fan. And hearing this makes me really, really excited. Legend of Zelda. Not one of my first two games. I'm not a big fan because I am, but this game. But hearing
this, who are you sitting with?
I'm more of a Mario guy. That's what I grew up with.
How dare you! Get out of my house!
Great games. I personally love it. I grew up with some of it. I played more of it as an adult, and I'm really excited for this. I'm kind of sad that I'm not buying one myself because I'm using.
You can live vicariously through me. It's fine.
I don't want to. If I watch you play, it's just I feel like. I don't know, man, but I'm really excited. I think everything that they're saying is true. Is just if they come out with games at a good time,
regular intervals,
right? Then the Switch is going to be forced to be reckoned with.
What's coming out after Splatoon? In between Splatoon and Mario.
When is Splatoon coming out?
In summer.
In summer, I know.
And Mario's coming out in the fall.
Xenoblade's supposed to come out by the end of this year.
I hope they have
Skyrim.
I hope they have at least a game a month.
And like I said earlier, Mario Kart comes out next month.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm hoping they at least keep this.
And that's also a hard hitter.
It is.
I mean, it is kind of the same game again.
But people are gonna.
That's what I wanted to know about it. The deluxe. Is it just all the DLCs in one game? And that's
it's all the DLCs plus new
plus
stuff.
a new battle mode.
Okay.
That's it.
No,
it's not new stages too.
It's some new characters and the old school kind of battle mode, the classic
battle. Yeah, I remember that.
All right.
But there's no new card stages.
I don't think so. But there are 4 circuits of 4.
I know. I played
each,
them all.
So.
I played them all.
Well, with that said, I think we could. He's a little hesitant. He's optimistic.
No, I'm optimistic, but I'm hesitant about it. You know what I mean? I'm cautious.
So you're hesitant.
I'm cautious.
About it.
No, I'm cautiously optimistic. There's a such thing as being cautious. I'm still buying the damn thing. I'm still spending way more if you think about it on accessories and yada yada. PS4, I bought one extra controller. Xbox One, I bought one extra controller, and that this thing I bought a controller and a screen protector and the Pro controller
and the
amiibos and the carrying case and yada yada.
That's another thing. I heard the amiibos are doing crazy things now.
Dude, all I noticed was they're double the price or something, and I was like, what the fuck?
Yeah. Well, anyways, we're going to go pick up our own copy of the Switch, and we are going to record this man opening it, and we're going to show you, pretty much what it is and how excited we are.
We have a lot coming up for the channel.
In a few
We've been
hours.
working a lot on the channel. We have multiple shows coming up. And I'm so excited. My new partner in crime right here, Steve. We have so much coming up for you guys. And again,
yeah, a lot of good stuff is coming out.
I just can't wait to get it to your eyeballs.
Yeah, he's really impatient, but in a good way.
Because I think you're gonna really like it.
Yeah. So
we'll see you in the next video, and
bye everybody.